With its all-narrow-body fleet and modest route network, Alaska Airlines doesn't typically generate as much interest as the big three US network carriers. It's somewhat the same case for Hawaiian and its much smaller fleet. However, the airlines and their parent company, Alaska Airline Group, performed quite well in 2024, posting record revenues while also completing the long-anticipated merger of Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines. So, to celebrate the merger of two airlines, this video will be a hybrid of two formats that viewers have seen on this channel: a look at the last full-year financial report, as well as going over airline fleets. So, let's get started. We should first address the airline's biggest news over the past year: its completed merger with Hawaiian. What was perhaps the most interesting thing about this merger was that it managed to happen. In the past few years, US regulators have been active in preventing mergers and acquisitions and consolidation of the airline industry. The general idea behind such moves is that consolidation leads to less competition, and less competition is not in the best interest of the consumer. As reported by Travel Weekly, the US Department of Justice successfully sued to block JetBlue's acquisition of Spirit Airlines. It was also successful in breaking up the close alliance between American and JetBlue in the New York area and Boston. However, the Alaska-Hawaiian merger went uncontested and received key support from the Hawaiian government. It was highlighted that this airline tie-up also likely benefited from a limited overlap between the airlines' networks. It was announced on September 18, 2024 that Hawaiian Airlines officially joined Alaska Airlines. It's notable that Alaska Air Group will maintain both brands rather than merge them into one entity, how Northwest was absorbed into Delta, Continental into United, and US Airways into American. Alaska Airlines Group had this to say about retaining Hawaiian's identity. Honoring its rich history and deep legacy, Hawaiian Airlines' iconic brand will continue to welcome and delight guests on aircraft, in airports, and on board, just like it is today. Maintaining both industry-leading Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines brands will enable guests to continue experiencing the remarkable service and hospitality, operational excellence, and premium products for which both airlines have been consistently recognized. Despite the decision to keep both brands, Alaska and Hawaiian have been working to secure a single operating certificate with the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, which will allow the two airlines to operate as a single carrier with an integrated passenger service system. CAPA reports that the airline group expects to have its single operating certificate by October 2025. In the short term, the merger will allow travelers to earn and redeem miles on both airlines, while frequent travelers holding elite status will have that status recognized across programs. One of the first moves after the official merger was the delisting of Hawaiian Airlines stock from the New York Stock Exchange. As reported by the Seattle Times, the merged organization will continue to trade under the ALK ticker on the NYSE. Saving our fleet overview for the end, let's look at Alaska Air Group's year of record revenue earnings for 2024. Unless specified, the figures we're about to list include both airlines. For 2024, the airlines collectively brought in passenger revenue of $10.65 billion, $8.1 billion on the Alaska side, and $757 million for Hawaiian. Loyalty program revenues earned the group $733 million, while cargo and other revenue totaled $348 million. Total operating revenue in 2024 was $11.7 billion. When it comes to expenses, wages and benefits were the largest category with a total of $3.6 billion spent. Aircraft fuel was the second largest expense at $2.5 billion. Adding up all the other expenses, the group spent $11.17 billion on operations. This made for an operating income of $570 million, a small fraction of the billions earned by the larger network carriers. But after factoring in non-operating income and/or expenses, the airline group's pre-tax income was $545 million. It's notable here that Hawaiian on its own would have lost money. Alaska Airlines on its own generated a pre-tax income of $703 million, while Hawaiian took a $58 million hit. Moving on to the fleets of both airlines, Alaska Airlines has a fleet of 238 Boeing 737 aircraft at the time of making this video. There are 14-700s, 61-800s, 6-900s, 79-900ERs, 5 MAX 8s, and 73 MAX 9s. The airline also has 86 Embraer E175s operating regional services. These jets are either operated by SkyWest Airlines or Horizon Air. On the Hawaiian side, there are just 63 passenger aircraft, 18 A321neos, 24 A330-200s, 19 717-200s, and 2 fairly new 787-9 Dreamliners. Hawaiian also technically has 8 A330-300 converted freighters, which operate for Amazon Prime Air. So yes, the airlines are merged, but also not merged in that they will retain their pre-existing identities. So how does this actually change the competitive landscape other than seamless integration for travelers? Well, we've already seen a big move from the newly consolidated airline with the announcement of Seattle as an international gateway with non-stop routes to Tokyo Narita and Seoul Incheon this year. Daily non-stop flights between Seattle and Tokyo Narita start on May 12, 2025 on Hawaiian's Airbus A330-200 aircraft. Non-stop service between Seattle and Seoul Incheon is scheduled to begin in October 2025. Unfortunately, at the time of making this video, no other details on this route have been released, so we're not sure what equipment will be used. The group's Seattle hub is the largest on the west coast of any carrier, serving 104 non-stop destinations across North America. The group has plans to add 12 international wide-body destinations by 2030 from its Seattle gateway. In the December announcement regarding new routes, Alaska Air Group announced that to better utilize the fleet, they've increased the number of hours flown daily by Hawaiian's Boeing 787-9 and Airbus A321 aircraft. The announcement goes on to say, "This means more flying time for Hawaiian's crews and more union jobs. The A321s will fly 25% more than they did before. This strategy mitigates the impact of delayed Boeing 737 deliveries while enabling us to expand our overall network reach." And so it's an incredibly exciting time for both Alaska and Hawaiian Airlines and the Greater Alaska Air Group. Given Hawaiian's 2023 adjusted net loss of $313 million and its 2024 net loss of $58 million, the merger appears to have been a much-needed lifeline for the carrier. At the same time, its acquisition by Alaska Air Group will allow for more growth and access to more airports and destinations, rather than only operating to and from Hawaiian airports. But what do you think of the Alaska Air Group and the successfully completed merger of Alaska and Hawaiian? Do you think it can grow to provide more serious competition against its larger US rivals? Let us know by leaving a comment. Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.